So welcome back to a brand new video, and if you have not given that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button straight away. And we here are talking about Manchester United versus Newcastle United, which resulted in a 3-1 win for the home side Manchester United at Old Trafford. It wasn't an easy one. In no way it wasn't an easy one. Manchester United were, put under pressure with the high press of Newcastle United, and they were pressing very, very high until the throat of Manchester United, and it was always going to be difficult. And when we approach this game, it was always going to be a mindset that they are actually going to be sitting in a low block and waiting for a counter attack from Alex Saint-Maximin, Miguel Almiron, Joe Linton. So it was always going to be an easy thing to notice that they are sitting in a low block and hitting us on a counter. So that was the main problem, but they were pressing us high, and Maguire and Lindelof were actually gonna be vulnerable, and it's gonna be a danger sign for us for at the back line. Handling that press with Alex Saint-Maximin is going to be usual now. So goals from Marcus Rashford, Daniel James, and Bruno Fernandes penalty. So we'll be talking about that very, very briefly. So without wasting any time, let's get this started. To start with the lineups was a 4-2-3-1 formation with Fred and Nemanja Matic in the midfield pivot. It has been a new combination today, and then Eric Bailly left out again. So Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, same fullbacks with Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw. Alex Telles sits on the bench, and no Edinson Cavani and no Donny van der Beek because they have been injured in training, confirmed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And then comes Daniel James on right wing, and Marcus Rashford on left wing, and Anthony Martial starting straight up top. So this is gonna piss off some fans because Anthony Martial is starting and Eric Bailly isn't starting. So it was always going to be a difficult game because Anthony Martial has been in a rough patch for a long while now, and it is frustrating to see him like that because he's dispossessing many balls, and it has been a useless number 9 for us. It has been like that for us for quite a while now. So Rashford has been underperforming but has been contributing to the goals and assists quite now and then, and Daniel James has been in a form of his life for the past 5 to 6 games. Have been scoring in whenever he's starting and whenever he's been substituted. So it's a good sign for him to see him back in those goals and assists, and it is good to see, and one of those things which I love to see now. So the approach was something different because against a low block, why Daniel James is starting, this can be questionable, because against Real Sociedad, Daniel James was started because they were maintaining a high line, so to pick them on a counter or put that run in behinds and long balls, so he can be used, and we used it very well against Real Sociedad. But Newcastle United are those kind of team who are sitting in a low block, so why use Daniel James? It's not going to be effective. Use Mason Greenwood, but it worked very, very well because those Newcastle defenders are a bit dodgy, so we can win fouls with Daniel James and Marcus Rashford, run at them, give them tough times, and that has been given by Marcus Rashford to Kraft, and he just nailed that finish for the first goal. Marcus Rashford, beautiful finish, a nutmeg from the left corner, and then coming in and then striking at Carl Dallo, couldn't keep that out, and it's a fantastic finish, 1-0. Now Newcastle equalized very quickly after that Marcus Rashford strike. It was a stupid header from Maguire is what people claim. Now it's easy to say that no, it's actually a stupid header to give it straight to Saint-Maximin, but De Gea should be doing very well there. It was so awful from him. For a keeper of his quality, you expect that he would do something better than that. It was an easy shot, and it wasn't a bullet strike as well. It was a mistimed shot from Alan Saint-Maximin, and it was always a gift for Newcastle to get that goal, because it was a gift, actually a gift, because he didn't hit it with a fine shot. It wasn't a fine shot, so it was always gonna be, I'll be blaming De Gea for that, because you need to save that. It goes in and it's 1-1, and everything drops down because we are playing well. We had possession, they were pressing us high, they're giving us tough chances, tough days for us, but still we were in the game. We were trying to create some chances. It wasn't working in the final third, but we are creating something. Nemanja Matic was started today with Fred, and McTominay had a knock against Real Sociedad, and so he was out, and Paul Pogba wasn't used. So Nemanja Matic was given. So it was a questionable decision that Fred and Matic, can they work together? But they worked very well. Nemanja Matic, man of the match for me, because he has been controlling that midfield. One of the reasons for that second goal, Daniel James, his turn and his quick. He was quick, so quick, and it was so surprising to see him so quick at the age of 30, 32, 33, I guess. And I've never seen him that quick in my life, because that freshness is what helping him to be that quick for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men, and that is so good to see. Now you have Matic when he was playing week in week out with Fred in the first season of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so he was so fatigued, and he was playing every minute of the game like what Maguire does now. So that fatigue would cause some problems. But now when he came in, he was so fresh and he was running like a striker, and it was so good to see, and that helped in the Daniel James goal, that as we mentioned, and many other instances, many other those defining pass, cutting edge pass from Nemanja Matic controlling that midfield, and it was so good to see. So glad to have him in the team for that game at least, because if we actually see him so fresh and doing this stuff in the actual next games that's been coming, and it would be actually so good for us in our midfield, and also for Fred and McTominay, who are actually making it having it difficult to actually control that midfield week in week out, and it becomes a job almost done for Bruno Fernandes as well. Now, I talked about David De Gea and Dean Henderson quite many times from the start of the season. So Dean Henderson has been coming in from Sheffield United after completing his loan, so he has been proving it in the Premier League, so he has that real experience. How he is going to replace David De Gea or not, so that was a big question that's been put in the first video that I've been mentioned in the start of the season. So that was a no from me, because David De Gea is always going to be a number one for us. But it could change now, because some of his performances, some of his mistakes, some of his passing ranges has been poor this season. The save percentage has been poor than Dean Henderson. This passing range is poor than Dean Henderson. There was always going to be a difficult task for Ole to choose between one of them, because he's actually one of those professional goalkeepers, David De Gea. And Dean Henderson too has have to have his chances. So fans will be so desperate to see Dean Henderson in the squad, because David De Gea has been so poor in handling those easy shots, because he has that fantastic saves, he has that gloves to pull on those fantastic saves, but then those easy ones are being put inside the net, and it is so awful, actually so awful. And you can't have some of those goalkeepers in your team who actually make those errors so often. Now De Gea hasn't been making errors so often nowadays, but still those goals that now, for example, it's now the Saint Maximin goal, you could not keep it out, but it was a tough one, you could agree, but the goalkeeper of his caliber has to keep that out. That has to be one of those questions that the coaching staff has to be asking him. What are all the problems that you're facing, because that's one of those saves that you should be saving. So Dean Henderson is coming in or not, it can be one of those big decisions that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be taking in the coming weeks, and Dean Henderson should have a go, because he has proved that he can be worthy in the games like in the Premier League. Obviously it's going to be Premier League. In the Champions League, David De Gea can be making it. In the Europa League, Dean Henderson is obviously going to be coming in straight away without any doubt. And in the FA Cup semi-finals, you can't say. So it has to be Dean Henderson that should be coming in. I could change my words. Dean Henderson should be given some chances against, if you're playing West Bromwich Albion, if you're playing Southampton, he can be given those chances against Big Six. David De Gea can be given those chances, because he becomes handy in those Big Six games. This is the main point that we need to discuss. Anthony Martial in the Manchester United shirt. Is it coming to an end? That's a big question. and nobody could actually be confident to say no, he is still in that bad phase and he can be coming back, he can be coming in to score those goals. Nobody can be confident in saying this because he has been woeful in the past few games and from the start of the season, and it is becoming difficult for him. And you could say Tammy Abraham is in a bad form, Timo Werner is in a bad form, Roberto Firmino was in a bad form. So these kind of players are actually professional players, and they get back to what they've been doing, and they provide that presence in that field and presence in that pitch, and they make things work out. But Anthony Martial is literally looks like he is going to that dead end, because that's going to be costly for him, and his input and his output is actually going below zero, you could say, because Rashford has been a bit more unprofessional. He's been a bit young now, and still his decision making has been poor, his final third decision making has been poor, is much more dribbles, and that all can be minimized, but still he has that ability to put those goals and assists, put those final third deliveries any time in the day. So you could trust him that keeping Rashford in the team would actually help us and can be dangerous for opposition, because his pace can be all over the world on his day. But Anthony Martial, it has to be one of those things that needs to be sorted out by the coaching staff, and he needs to be back in form. He needs to prove that he is worthy to start in the starting 11, because Edinson Cavani is back in his shoulders, and he is very, very 10 times more worthy than Anthony Martial, because his movements and his reading that pass has been so brilliant from Edinson Cavani, and Anthony Martial has got a problem here. But Twitter is something else, because Twitter has those reactionary fan bases, and Manchester United fans are the most reactionary fan bases in the world, and this is gonna be you could say this is a delusion or something else, because some of them could take this as, because Manchester United has been one of the biggest clubs in England, and you could expect some standards to be seen in the pitch, and you could say that this win couldn't be much more needed, or we couldn't celebrate this wins and all that stuff, because Ole has been in a building phase, and winning has become one of those important things in his reign, and it has been missing in the past few seasons that he has been here in his third season now. So it has been, the players hasn't been delivering it for him, but now when the players are delivering it for him, people claim it as individual brilliance. Now the Rashford goal was an individual brilliance, then Bruno Fernandes penalty to seal it 3-1, great work from Marcus Rashford, putting a dummy and putting a great skill, and Willock just slides it into him, a gentle touch, he falls, and a penalty given for the Manchester United. So it was clearly taken, and it was a bit of a rustle that Carl Dallo could he save that, because he has saved Bruno Fernandes' penalty last time we faced, and it was cool and composed finish from Bruno Fernandes, and it's a good thing. So individual brilliance, every team is gonna have individual brilliance. It's not going to be something your managers are not going to play in the field. So individual brilliance and tactics are going to win those games, and individual brilliance won us this game, maybe winning us the title in the future, or this time we won't know. But still, blaming it on individual brilliance in 2021 is utter madness from our fans. It's going to be something that Manchester United fans need to be need to just calm down a bit and watch the game, enjoy it for them, and if it's a positive result, take it in a positive note, have some fucking sleep. So if you like the video, please hit that like button, and if you're yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. So we go to second place again. So Leicester, we're in the second place for a momentary time, and we grabbed that spot again, and we're just 10 points behind City. Not just 10 points behind City, it's 10 points behind City. So it was always going to be a tough time, and City aren't going to be unbeaten for the next 13 games. So sorry if you think that they're going to be unbeaten for the next 13 games, it's not going to happen. So we just need to keep on winning, we can actually go and close that gap to the first place, or if it works, if luck actually comes to our side, we can actually challenge to the title. So we need to just wait and watch for the upcoming fixtures that's been coming in. We played Chelsea again in the next Premier League fixture, and it's Thomas Tuchel against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again. So it is always going to be an entertaining watch. It's entertaining for which team we don't know. I hope it's for Manchester United. I hope it's for this club. And let's see. And the performances say that we can actually put in a fight in front of them. Chelsea has been in a good form, so we need to be perfect. We need to be 100% in front of them. So let's see what happens. So we'll be meeting in the next video. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.